Welcome to the Izzi and Nils Late Night Show. Today, in-house SEO versus agency SEO, the quiz with special guest Joanna from Berlin.
Oh my god.
I'm prepared. I got a lot of sounds today, but I won't show you just now.
That was amazing.
Okay. Yeah, so because I'm the host today, I have to do all the introduction because otherwise it wouldn't feel like I'm the host. So Today we're talking about what I just said. So we have a quiz, in-house SEO versus agency SEO, and we got a special guest, Joanna, our good friend from Berlin, who's visiting me right now. So we kind of forced her to join our podcast.
You did.
That's okay for us. And
help.
Yeah, and maybe as a quick introduction, Joanna, can you tell the people who you are and why you chose to work as a search engine optimizer in an agency?
Okay, yeah, so this is me, Joanna. I'm a friend of Nils for 10 years, and I know Izzi from my time when I was working back in Munich. Yeah, and I'm an agency SEO just because I think agency people are always very crazy and very passionate about what they do. So I feel this is my tribe. And I just feel like more comfortable around the crazy people. That's why I work there.
But I'm crazy sometimes.
Well, you had an agency,
too.
so you were working on the agency side, so...
Okay.
Fair enough.
You're the competitor that is fighting Izzi today, who's an in-house search engine optimizer. And Izzi, why did you choose to work in-house instead of an agency?
So very simply, in the beginning, I didn't choose the in-house SEO life. The in-house SEO life chose me.
Okay.
Just like the thug life. But no,
we got that.
I chose to stay in-house because of the company and the people I have, but I think it's really cool to get so in-depth in SEO for like a product that you know inside and out and sitting, you know, with all the developers, with the product owners and everything. And that's not always possible in an agency.
True that. Do you think that in-house people are not as crazy as agency people, as Joanna said?
No. I think there's crazy people all over. Maybe not as crazy as Joanna, but...
What?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, and yeah, to give you the rules today, so we called this a quiz because it's someone versus someone, so we kind of need to find a winner, but we're not really looking to give anyone points, although I, of course, prepared the sounds for this. But I will just ask questions because we asked the community. All the questions actually come from our followers, which is really nice. Thank you for contributing.
Thank you.
And yeah, we got some questions from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram. And I will read the questions and then both of you or someone of you will answer. And I will then decide if that's correct or not.
Hold up.
As the person here who has no idea of SEO.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, as the non-SEO, you have to decide if we are correct in answering an SEO question. What the fuck?
I'm the only showmaster here, so we have no choice.
Your opinion rules, basically.
Exactly.
No cheating, Izzi. Put your phone away.
I would start with the Twitter questions, if you don't mind. Of course you don't. And, well, here's the first question.
Ooh.
I told you I'm prepared.
Oh my God.
I stole all of these sounds from the internet. From Twitter, Johnny_J_ says, getting shit done. In-house is better than agency. Do you agree or disagree? Whoever answers first answers first.
Is it like, do we have to scream and push like a button? And
Oh, I didn't bring a button.
we don't have a button? Oh. Well, I obviously disagree.
Why?
I think actually in agencies we get shit done a lot more, at least from my experience. It kind of depends because probably there's in-house people who don't work with agencies. So maybe we should differentiate between like proper in-house teams that do everything on their own and in-house teams that basically work with us as an agency. But I see a lot of clients really struggling like on the in-house side to actually get stuff done that we deliver, like any concepts and ideas and everything. So,
but do they have in-house SEOs, or is it just you are the SEO as the agency and they have no idea of it?
Well, everything is possible. So I've worked with clients from me basically being their SEO team up to really big SEO teams that work in-house, and we are basically just working together. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just us basically being resources, or just us that give like another opinion. So because they kind of feel like they get a bit blind by always looking at the same thing. So they kind of want an outsider to look at any issues. Like when we do audits, for example, we have cases where we just do audits for SEO teams that really know what they're doing, and they just want like a second opinion because they just want, that second look on things that they've been looking at for quite a while. So
that is correct.
Hey, I didn't even get my chance to answer.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I just said that's correct. I didn't say yours is wrong.
Yeah, so. I think, Izzy, you should give your opinion. It's actually interested. I would actually, in the end, I would say it really depends on the in-house team as well as the agency. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of, I know there's a lot of shitty SEO agencies out there.
Oh, yes.
That don't get shit done and that basically...
So shady.
Yeah, talk shady stuff. Like,
what's the worst SEO agency you know?
Oh, I can't do any public shaming here.
Okay, no, I was.
But of course, I don't know because I've only worked with great SEO agencies. Obviously.
Of course.
Just like now.
Nice.
Okay, Izzy, what's your take on the question?
So obviously, I think in-house teams get it done quicker, and that's because the things that we want to implement, we get done ourselves. There's no client standing in the way saying, thank you for these steps, but I'm not going to do that because I don't have resources. And in-house, we have direct access to our developers, to our designers, and we can go straight to them and say, okay, this is important for these reasons. Let's get stuff done. Bam. Yes.
That is correct too.
Yay.
I mean, I guess it depends, right? You have in-house teams that don't get anything done. You have agencies that don't get anything done, and vice versa. So,
yeah,
true.
I think also what you said, like if I have a good connection with my clients, that will not only be the head of marketing or the SEO team, that will always also include any developers. So I don't feel that we are like if our clients provide us the standing we need within the company, I feel we basically can work pretty similar to in-house SEOs, and I have direct access to all the developers. And I've seen clients where it worked out pretty well. But then, of course, there's also companies where you're like that outside person, that consultant that just kind of comes in and they feel like you're intruding their everyday work. But I think that doesn't really matter if it's agency or not. It's just company culture, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Setup.
I would feel really kind of sad if I spent a lot of time developing, SEO strategies for a company that never implemented them. I mean, I know I'm still getting paid for that, but it's like, come on, I just want to help you out.
Yeah, I guess you just learn that during a lot of years of doing consulting. And I see this also as part of my job, that I'm a consultant. So they ask me for my opinion and for my recommendations, but what will be implemented in the end is really their take. Of course, when you do your job in a good manner, I think I wouldn't want to recommend anything where I know, it's not going to happen anyways. So you always try to make recommendations that will probably or are very likely to be implemented. But in the end, I'm only a consultant, and I'm pretty sure in-house there will be similar situations where in-house people kind of make recommendations or want things to be done, and it's just not happening.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like a political issue, or it's just going to take time.
Yes, I didn't add any sound for time is running out, but that was a long answer, and we have a lot of questions, so I would recommend to keep the answers short. Thanks for sharing. Okay, are you ready? I don't know why there's the second boom.
It's more epic.
True that. So the next question is from Twitter, from SEM Galore. And he's asking, which one is easier to get budget, tool sets, and convince people or stakeholders for SEO actions, in-house or agency? Did you get the question?
I'm not really sure. How do we understand it, Izzy? Is it the question like where it's easier to get budget, tool sets, and convince?
I think this is Christian.
If I might, yes, it is. I might rephrase. So I think he asks if you need budgets and tools for SEO things. So you want to optimize your website for search engines, and you need budget for it, and you need tools for it, and you need to convince people and stakeholders and your boss or whoever that this is important. And the question is, who's the better person to do the talking here? Like, it doesn't make sense if an in-house person asks for all of this, or does it make sense to have an agency, because then maybe their opinion is trusted more?
So I will say in-house again, of course, because I mean,
so biased.
I am. But yeah. So basically, when you're working in-house, you're part of their team. They spent time looking for you, hiring you, and they found you. Now you're there working for them, and you're on the payroll, and it's up to them to take your opinion as the truth. And of course, you need time building up a better connection and rapport with whoever you're reporting to or working with. But I think that's also a lot easier in-house as well. So yeah.
I probably agree with the part that once you have a really good team, I wouldn't want to push myself into the foreground as a consultant, but I still think we have a very big advantage in convincing stakeholders just due to the amount of clients we have, and we have a lot of cases. So I feel it's very easy for us as a good agency to convince any stakeholders of getting tools, getting things done, because we can literally provide a ton of cases where things have worked out quite nicely. And I feel that can be quite hard when you basically only are that one client, and I have maybe 10 or 15.
I would agree here with Joanna. So I think being the outside person, if it's an agency or consultant or whoever, I think these persons have more power of convincing the stakeholders. At least from my experience, that's the case. But I've never worked in-house, so what do I know?
Okay.
I think there's also this little magic about it's a different kind of payment that goes towards an agency. So they feel like it's a very expensive opinion you buy there.
Yeah.
So I think that's why there's also, a lot, maybe sometimes more value on that opinion. I don't know, but maybe that's just a gut feeling.
No, it could kind of make sense that there is this brand impact rather than an individual's impact. So yeah, I can see why that could happen.
Cool. Oh wait,
we didn't get the right.
Oh, sorry. So I would say Joanna gets a, and Izzy gets a.
Oh, such a sad noise.
So sorry, you just spit on my arm, Joanna.
I'm sorry. It's water, no spit.
Okay.
I got excited.
So that was Twitter. Now we come to Facebook, and Julian Redlich, obviously German, I think everyone who asked questions there, he asked, in-house SEOs often work with SEO agencies together, so you're working together, to solve specific cases or projects. What do you recommend each side to strengthen their relationship and get the best results out of the collaboration? So what does the in-house SEO have to contribute, and what does the agency SEO have to contribute to make working together work?
I feel like I should answer this question, right? Because you're not really working with any SEO agency. So
exactly,
this is probably a question you can only take a guess on. It's basically the question on how to get a good relationship, right? I think I would like to start with what not to do. And I feel a lot of shitty relationships start out by consultants having that a bit of, let's call it cocky attitude, looking down on clients and being like, oh, I know everything better. You're shit SEO, kind of this attitude.
Cocky in a good or bad way?
Bad
No,
way.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's what she said.
Thanks.
Yes, I think the most important part is having that mutual respect. So I don't like to be looked down upon, which clients sometimes do as well when they literally treat you. I sometimes feel treat like some clients see you just as labor force, like they only see you as a resource, and that's I think that's not a great feeling if you're treated like that. And on the other hand, I feel this respect should be mutual. So I always try to give my clients honest feedback, but I will still be like do it in a polite way, and I will never look down on them and be like, oh my God, that's such a stupid question. And I also like to give my clients, for example, credit. Like if they ask me a question that I've never thought about or where I don't know the answer, I will literally tell them and say, oh, that's a good question. I've never thought about that. And I feel this is kind of a good way to establish, mutual respect. And in the end, we're all like passionate about the same things. So
that's correct.
You're such a wholesome agency consultant. I love it.
But it's true. I mean, I think it's in general social interaction. Like you have to appreciate other people and not only talk about the negative things and value their opinions. I mean, everyone's got different views on different things, but in the end, it comes from somewhere. It comes from their experiences. And it's not only about working. It's about every opinion that you have in your life. But we're not a life coach podcast, so I will shut the fuck up.
But I think, so I've never worked with agencies, but of course at Sixt we do get a lot of requests from agencies who want to work with us, and they're sending us like site audits and saying this is wrong. And they're trying to undermine our knowledge, whereas what they don't know is this isn't a bug, it's a feature, to like do bullshit bingo, but that's in place for a reason. And rather than like questioning our choices, maybe they should, provide more useful advice to get us as a client.
Yeah, maybe that's also the part that answers the second part of the question a bit more, like how to get the best results out of the collaboration. So when we have in-house SEO teams, I really like to check out what can and should be done in-house, because it's just more efficient or sometimes even effective in terms of influence they have in-house, Yeah, I don't feel like I should throw myself at every SEO task that's out there, because I feel it makes sense to support my clients instead of, take everything off them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's such a nice and such an unusual way to think as an agency, because many agencies just want to like get their hours that they get paid for, and they don't really mind what they do with that time. So it's nice that you actually care about doing stuff that matters and not just anything just so you get the money.
Yeah, I think that's something we this will be sounding like advertisement now, but I think that's really something we're living up at the agency I work right now, and I really enjoy that we don't like just upsell. So we really like sometimes tell clients like, it's great that you have that budget, but we will literally not be able to use this in like a useful way. So we really want to just give our clients the best outcome, and don't just grab all the budget and do crap, basically, But that's the thing. I think that's where the shady agencies are kind of separating from the good consultants, consulting companies. I don't know.
Very nice.
Next question. Axel Jack Metayer. I never know how to say it because he's kind of French. Maybe that. So Axel from Facebook asks, what are your recommendations to increase the Googlebot crawl rate on a specific domain? That's a technical one.
Okay, I'll go, I guess. First.
Bye.
Bye. I think it depends, because I'm not sure if he has problems with the Googlebot crawling his site, if there really is an issue, or maybe he sees it as something that he just wants to improve for the sake of it. I hope it's not the second part.
Why do you hope that?
Because, crawl rate is not a vanity metric. Of course, we should improve it so that Googlebot is crawling and accessing the right content and, on a frequent basis. But, it depends on the issue he has. So I think the best way of improving crawl rate is just by improving page speed. So cutting down on unnecessary resources and, making sure that your pages are thin, understandable, crawlable, and so on. And also just cutting out thin, weak pages, trimming them from your site, making sure there's no poorly linked pages, getting rid of those, and just having, the need to find content on your site. Also, utilizing your robots.txt file to ensure that Google's not, or let's say you're directing Google which pages or which levels not to crawl. They won't always take it seriously, or they won't always abide by the robots.txt rules, but you should definitely utilize that function as well. But I think page speed is the most important way you can improve it.
I would absolutely agree with that. And we've seen that a lot with clients in you can see a direct influence of page speed going down. Is that the right way to say it? But you know what I mean, page speed getting better and the crawl rate increasing. So I would say that would be my first go-to answer, optimize your page speed.
It's called page speed getting faster.
Mm-hmm.
That answer was correct. Nice question. Also, for our listeners, we have to say that there was actually no preparation. So I got the questions and this is all out of the blue. So we
on the fly.
It's on the fly. We have I'm very impressed by my girls.
Oh,
his girls. Ooh,
in my dreams. Okay. Oh, well, sorry. What?
I was going to say, I'm very impressed by the Quizmaster.
Oh, of course, me too.
I know it's your dream to have a quiz show.
I was actually thinking about wearing a glitter bow tie, but I didn't get one.
Oh, damn.
That's okay.
Next time.
Yes. Markus Capelli from Facebook asks, how can I, as an in-house SEO, convince the management to tell the IT department how to solve SEO-related issues that may show their first effects in maybe half a year?
That's very specific. I feel like this poor guy has had this problem.
So try to help him.
Can you say it again?
I think that's kind of the question we had earlier. Who's the best person to convince the stakeholders?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think it's more in terms of how can he convince the management. So basically, this is how can I get the management onto my site so they tell the IT to do what I want? And I think that's a very, because of the time it may take. So I think that's a legitimate question, because that's where a lot of companies struggle, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What I like to do in terms of that, it depends on the management, of course, but if they don't really listen to my opinion, I feel it's always working great to find official Google statements, because, well, everybody who's doing SEO in Germany is basically focusing on Google. And if Google has ever said anything specific to that question or that issue, I feel like that will be valued the highest. And especially for that, I know there's been an official statement of Google where they basically said, give your SEOs time. It takes a while until it will work. So maybe that would be the last go-to thing if they, otherwise wouldn't listen to me.
That's interesting. Also, he asked another question. I won't play the sound because it's kind of related. So he also asked, where would you put an in-house SEO in a big company with, for example, 5,000 employees that is old-fashioned? So would you put them in marketing, in IT, in communications? So I guess depending on the department you're in, this is very related to the first question he asked.
Yeah, so in this question, which is related to my response for the previous question, I would say...
Wait, I can't follow.
I would say the IT or the development teams, because you really need that close communication with your developers. They shouldn't see you as some like fancy marketing snobs on a higher floor who are giving you directions. You need to have some kind of friendship, so it's like a mutual agreement. You know, I'm not asking for these technical requirements just to be a pain in the ass. I'm trying to help more people find the products that you build. And you know, it's really harder to do that when you're sitting in like offline marketing or maybe another team. So I don't know if this was like physically or management wise where you are placed, but definitely I'd rather be with IT and UX.
Correct.
Okay.
We've come to the Instagram questions.
Ooh.
Also follow us on Instagram. We need the followers. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
We don't have an Instagram page.
Oh, I meant Joanna and me. And you.
Right. I looked on your profile the other day and you've got like 7,000 followers. What are you doing?
It's 8,000.
Oh, sorry.
I want to get 10 because then I can put URLs and links in my stories so people can swipe up. And then we will get all the traffic to izzyandnilsshow.com.
Of course.
I only have like 300 followers and feel like I have only
Useless.
2 people who like all my posts. And I have my mom who posts like pukey-faced emojis under my outfit posts. Thanks, Mom.
That's so mean.
Joanna, is your profile public?
No.
Instagram questions. Alexei Shanukaev, forgive me for saying that wrong, asked, are Wix & Co. really bad for SEO? And he means the company, the landing page or the website building company with a funny name if you speak German. So it's called Wix. And they actually have advertisements. I think I said that earlier in some episode here or in a conference talk. And they have advertisements in Germany where people say, Ich wichse jetzt. Like I masturbate.
Explain
now.
it for, okay.
To wichsen means to jack off or to masturbate or to touch your penis in a sexual way. No, I don't think that touching a vagina is called wichsen.
True.
Oh, such an educational podcast, right? I'm learning so much.
Okay, so basically the question is, are website builders where you can build your website like Jimdo, Wix, Unbounce maybe, are they bad for SEO or not?
Okay, I will start. I remember Wix in the past, it had a really bad reputation for SEO. I think they were like really heavily reliant on Flash, which is like a huge no-go for search engines. They cannot understand it.
Have you heard that Adobe stops developing Flash any further? They just announced it. It will die.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is. Oh, are you hungry?
How will I play browser games? I'm so hungry. Stop
I
it.
just heard that.
Okay, so yeah, and then there was like something with the URL, so like added weird symbols in there, which again wasn't like totally SEO compliant. But I think, oh my god, my stomach! I'm gonna sit really far away. Blah. I think they got rid of these features now, and I think a page is a page at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter what CMS you're using, as long as it's like fully technically compliant with those search engine bots, you're okay. But I do think Wix has got a really bad reputation recently because they did this Super Bowl advertisement in the US, and they were like, and now with SEO Wix Whiz, I can click a button and get great rankings on Google. And the whole SEO community was like, what the fuck? You can't do that. So basically, like, any CMS that promotes that SEO is something you can just switch on and reap the benefits of is not good. But generally speaking, it's okay to build a website there. Don't kill me.
I would say as long as the website, like if you have your main website not built with one of these tools, but you use it for specific landing pages like Unbounce or something, and then the landing pages are on different subdomains, then that's not good, I would say. Does someone agree or disagree?
Well, you're the quizmaster, so...
All right, so my answer was correct. No, seriously, is it true?
Yes, that would be bad.
cool.
Very bad. Oh my god, I like that noise.
Thank you. I have one more for the ending, but I won't tell you now.
That's what she said.
True. I kind of want to cut out all your tummy stuff, make it louder,
Please
and
do.
then
No.
have that as our next intro music.
And make a dubstep track out of it.
Yes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh God, look how red I am.
I know.
Terrible. Okay. Engel.steff from Instagram asks, has Pagespeed become more relevant since the last Google Core update?
Should I go? Do you want to go, Joanna?
I was just going in my head like, which one? Which was the last? When was the question? Like,
it was
Core update.
like 1 week ago or 1.5.
you see, I'm just here on holiday.
I thought it was in March.
Yeah, that's why I'm just here on holiday doing my thing. If there was a core update, I'm sorry, I didn't read SEO news in Bali.
Also, I meant the question came like 1.5 weeks ago.
Okay.
No, I think the last core update was March. Yeah.
What happened there with Pagespeed?
So I think the answer to this question is no. It's not become more relevant since the last core update. It's become more relevant without the core update.
We never used this.
Well, so I know. Okay, very quickly, Pagespeed is always relevant, not just because of crawl speed, whatever, Googlebot, downloading your resources faster. It's great for UX, so do it.
However, if you're in analytics and you're looking at your page load time, that's not the relevant number for UX or for your user, but you have the time to interact with your website. So when is the website loaded enough so people can use it? And that's a different metric, but you can find it in analytics.
And Lighthouse.
What?
And in Google Lighthouse.
What is that?
Where you measure page speed metrics such as time to first interactive and time to first contentful paint.
Really? I never heard that. Why wasn't that in our tools episode?
Good point.
But Google PageSpeed Insights was in there.
Oh, was it? I don't remember.
Oh, it was.
I've slept since then.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
However, listen to our favorite marketing tools episode to find out what's missing. Oh, Izzy, we're here talking in your background.
Well, I can't exactly tell him to shut up. I'm in a meeting room in the middle of an office.
I'm not working.
Yeah, guys, come on. It's ambient background noise.
Yeah, it's like a coffee shop
And
background.
I'm in Brussels airport at the moment, but the one before was London Heathrow. And that's why I pick it, because it's further away from the people. And now I have girls in front of me hugging and talking about their weekends.
Can you tell them to shut the fuck up?
No,
You have important work to do.
I'm not boss yet.
Can you stop hugging, please?
Yeah.
Well, okay. To be awesome without the E in the end from Instagram asks, how do you handle all the important data for SEO in your agency or company? That's a very open question, but maybe you have something to say. Or maybe the girls outside your room have something to say.
I do think it's a very open question. It's not very specific. I can give an insight on how or what we do as an agency. So first of all the important data. So I think that really depends on your project, on your client, and what they will do with it. So I'm not a fan of just collecting data for the sake or like having a massive reporting just for the sake of having this like 100 slides or whatever, like pages or whatever tool you use. But I like to have reportings that are basically actionable, because otherwise, if you just look at the data and be like, great, let's proceed. That's not going to help anyone. So I feel whatever data you collect or look at, there should always be a reason why you do that. And it shouldn't just be stuff like you said like vanity metrics, where you kind of look at, I don't know, like the visibility going up, and you're like, well, great, but I don't know, traffic and revenue is going down actually. So I feel whatever you look at, any data, you should actually, have an outcome that's actionable for you, and where you will, like, how do you say, like, take consequences? Is that a word?
How do you, as an agency, tell your client that this is actually something you need to work on? So you say they have to be actionable, the reportings. So if you just show them, hey, you have lost, I don't know, you've lost 3 rankings for this important keyword, then will you just give them this information, or will you also go one step further and say you should do this and that to get the rankings back?
It kind of depends on what the client is willing to pay for. I mean, there are clients that really just like, oh, I just want you to like take care of the numbers. I don't want any like recommendations. But of course, in most of the cases, and I think in an ideal way, we would not just describe the data, but would of course give recommendations on what to do as a next step. We handle most of the data with our, we call it marketing intelligence team. So we have very intelligent people sitting there who do all the data magic,
Hence the name.
all the data magic for us. And they develop like the greatest dashboards and automated reports. So maybe that's also answering the question, how we handle important data. I don't know. And what we also do, or what we did in the past, when, for example, Search Console was only providing the data for a very limited amount of time, not like they do it today, we were also storing data on like our private databases. So we could actually give year-on-year comparisons based on Search Console data, for example. So we work a lot with the APIs and kind of find our own ways to keep and store data that we think is useful for our reportings.
Nice.
Correct. What does the company side, the in-house side, say to this?
So, of course, I can't go into too much business detail about what we use and how we report and stuff, because that's secret. But generally, I really like to use Google Data Studio because of all the connectors you can use. So different APIs from different tools. You can combine Google Analytics and Google Search Console data. You can make it look very pretty. And also you can really stick to just the most actionable or useful data, like Joanna said. And you can create different reports depending on the receiver. So if it's for a non-SEO or non-marketing person, I can make it more business specific. And if it's for internal SEO usage, then I can go into more detail with the metrics.
This is how brains work. I don't even need to say anything. You know what I mean. Hopefully. Next question from Marvelous Malte on Instagram. He actually has the last 3 questions of this episode. Yeah, there are only 3 questions left, but they are from Malte, so they are always interesting.
Yes.
We love you, Malte.
We do.
I don't love you that much because that would be gay. But oh no, I will leave this up. Or maybe not.
You can be gay for Malta.
That's okay. Okay, so the first question is, which version of Chrome does Google really use for JavaScript crawling? That's like the first actual quiz question we have here.
That is.
In my SEO team, we've been sharing this article of Deep Crawl, which was published around the beginning of April, I think, where they set up a test setup. They set up a test setup. Exactly. And according to this test setup, it seemed that Google partially updated their rendering version to Chrome 69.
Nice.
And I'm just looking at my Slack what my great colleague Stefan Gottwald has written, because he tested some of the versions as well. And he said that for Pagespeed, it looks like they're using Chrome 71. And the mobile-friendly test is, for example, still using Chrome 41. So it seems like there's some improvement happening.
What a nerd.
But he's great. I love
It's good to be nerds.
him. I love him. He's a good colleague. So yeah, so I think it seems like there's some changes happening, some improvement happening, but it's still depending on what Google looks at, I think. So that would probably be my answer, but I don't have any like very, very specific insights on that. I don't know if you have any more, Izzy.
No. Great answer. And we should link to this article because it's really great, and Deep Crawl do awesome articles. Good job, Deep Crawl.
Yes, we will, in the description of the episode. That you can, by the way, find when you go to izinilsshow.com, and then you click on all episodes, scroll a bit down, and then just see all of our episodes.
Nice.
This is me speaking in my terrible built-in microphone. So while editing this podcast, is just texted me on WhatsApp that Google today announced they updated their web rendering service to Chrome 74. So ignore everything you heard for this question. It's Chrome 74. Are you bored, Izzy? Did you just yawn?
I'm tired. It's Monday.
Oh, true. Next question from Malte again. I will actually use the last question first and then finish with this question because I think that's a funny question. So the question for now is, which metric do you use to measure page speed? I don't even get the question, but you might. I would say I use page speed or seconds. Oh, it could be seconds or kilobytes or something.
I think he means specific metric, like as a measurement of performance. And if so, in that case, I would say time to first interactivity. If you have functionality on the page, because then you can see when like your dynamic elements are working and when there's actual, response from this page's functions. But if it's just a content heavy page, I would use first contentful paint. So when you can actually see the elements on the page.
I would not say there's just one metric you should look at, because as we've just discussed with, for example, the crawl rate, I think looking at metrics like time to first byte absolutely makes sense as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I would absolutely agree to also look at the time to first contentful paint, just because that's basically when a user sees something happening. And that's just when you don't just think about bots and crawlers, but you think about users. That's basically you want the above the fold area to be loaded as fast as possible, because you can still like keep loading stuff in the background, but the user has to have the impression that there's something happening, and you don't want the user to be on a like white blank page for 10 seconds, and that happens. So
where can I see this time to first contentful paint?
Chrome Lighthouse.
Of course, we will link to that. Okay. I hope that's correct. If Malte thinks it's wrong, he can send us a voice message on WhatsApp saying...
He will do this.
Of course he will.
Whilst he's walking to get his doner kebab.
That's all he ever does.
Yes.
We love you, Malte.
Yes.
Okay. We've come to the last question of today's episode of the in-house SEO versus agency SEO quiz. That's not really a quiz. And the question from Malte again is user experience a ranking factor?
Ooh, I see all the conspiracy theories coming in. This is gonna go down.
Yes.
So, Izzy, I know you had this great Twitter post. So do you want to start? Give your opinion?
What great Twitter post.
Who follows people on Twitter?
My followers and me.
I don't remember which one, but I remember that you had this post with like, Google said this, will I stop doing this?
That was if CTR is a ranking factor.
Oh, okay. Shit.
But I mean, it's kind of the same principle.
It's related, right? Yeah.
Because CTR can come under UX in a way as a ranking factor if it's impacting it directly. Also, I don't like the term ranking factor. I like the term algorithm arouser.
Ooh.
That's so fancy.
I know.
You seem much smarter now.
Thank you. Right, what was I going to say? So,
there goes the smart.
was being so flirty. I forgot to be smart.
You can't be sexy and smart at the same time, obviously.
So the idea that user experience directly improves where you rank on the search engines is the wrong way to think about it. So let's say I'm going to increase engagement on my webpage just to improve rankings. That's not the right way of thinking. It's because it always depends on multiple things, like what is the searcher looking to find on my page? And then the user experience improvements will, rely on that knowledge.
So quotable.
No, it's not. It's bullshit. It sounds like bullshit. But
No, I would quote
Okay,
it.
thank you. I mean, what I'm trying to say is sometimes SEOs hear this UX as a ranking factor thing, and then they go out there and they try and, do their best to keep the user on the website as long as they can through whatever means. But it's not about that. It's about bringing more satisfied sessions on your website, about building a better brand awareness. Yeah, and just not just improving your SEO performance, but your company's performance as a whole.
I think that's quite a valid point. I would see UX like in the overall picture and not as like a specific ranking factor, because I think there's so many little things that pay in on a good UX. And also what you said, UX, there's not like one,
like not one score.
UX. It really depends on. We always use this example of people who have like an issue, like I want to cancel a contract and I just want to find the address. Then of course it will be really good if, for example, the bounce rate will be low, if the page on time spent is not like very high, because people just want this answer and they will be very satisfied when they find it quickly. So there's not just one good UX. In the overall picture, I think many ranking factors or algorithm arousers kind of pay in on having a good user experience. So I would say, yes, it is kind of a ranking factor if you want to ask that question and you want a yes or no answer.
Yeah, exactly.
I would go for yes, but not in like it's that one kind of thing you have to do. It's more like the overall picture. And as you said, when you look at all like the big brands that have a lot of trust, like Amazon or in Germany, Zalando in fashion, like everything they do to satisfy their users pays onto that like good user experience they provide that strengthens the brand again, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of like a loop that closes and kind of helps them to, just accelerate.
Also, the question would be how to measure UX. So if it was a ranking factor, then, I mean, I agree, it might be one, but I think UX is just a big word and many, many small things are in there. That's what she said. And so, I mean, what would be the number where any machine says, oh, I've seen this behavior of the user, so there must be a good user experience? I think this number doesn't exist, or it does exist for every website, but it's always different.
Yeah, I mean, I would take, in this case, bounce rate as well and time on site. We mentioned Pip Klockner a while ago in one of our episodes, who mentioned the better time on site, the better user experience. And I think we were pretty against that. But since I looked into his arguments, I kind of found reasoning there. Because, go on, what are you going to say?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say something like you fangirl, but I didn't want to interrupt.
I am a fangirl. Yeah, because like the more committed a searcher is or a user is to your website, the longer time they'll spend on your site. So my argument is, as a person, I want my customer to find my product as fast as possible and to make a booking. But it's okay if they're spending time on refining their searches on my site, or, like looking around and navigating. And there is a nice Searchmetrics ranking factor study that found a higher correlation between ranking and higher time on site as well.
Can we link to that, or is it?
I think so, yeah.
Printed
PDF.
Okay, we might.
Yeah. And of course, bounce rate is a really nice way of measuring, user satisfaction as well, and good UX. Because if it's a super high bounce rate on a page that is existing to get people to your funnel, then you know that there's something horribly wrong going on there.
Yes. All right.
Anything to add? Oh,
Yeah, this is it with the questions that we got from people. So because we didn't really count things and you agreed in many points, and yeah, I mean, there are things that are better with agencies, some things are better with in-house teams, I guess. So we can't really say who's the winner, but the question is, do you have any last words to tell to the people about this topic before I play the winner sound?
like a closing statement.
Yes.
Okay, from my side as an in-house SEO, of course it depends on the company that you're working for, but I think when it's done right with the correct setup and the correct structure and hierarchy or lack of hierarchy, I do think it's the best way to get SEO done, because you're such an expert in this product and you're connected with so many people, not just in marketing or development, but also operational staff and sales support staff. So you really get to know your product and the service that you're selling so much, and you become like a little ambassador of what you're selling. And this way you're so passionate about doing SEO for it. And SEO requires a lot of passion, or good SEO at least.
True. So I think that's the important thing, because not every SEO is a good SEO.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Not many are.
Anything from you, Joanna?
So I would actually say it's right what you say, that you should be really passionate about SEO, but I feel still, even like every SEO in-house team, you should every now and then maybe, like, especially if it's not a big team. I think you're very lucky to be in a very big SEO team, so you have a lot of exchange, a lot of different meanings. There's new people coming, people leaving. There's just like, new knowledge coming in.
So done with.
Oh my
Okay.
god, I'm so sorry. Can you say the last
That was
sentence
Nils playing Instagram during my great statement. I feel especially for small SEO in-house teams, so it's very beneficial to get that outside look into, because to avoid this organizational blindness thing. So what you say as an advantage can of course also be a disadvantage. So my message to the world, which is very hippie-ish right now because I feel so spiritual being here in Bali, is to spread the SEO love across all agencies and in-house teams, and to really focus on that relationship and to find the best, a most efficient way to work together, instead of working against each other or like trying to bring each other down. So that
Definitely.
my statement.
Oh, yes.
Hashtag SEO love. Woo.
Hashtag SEO soul sisters.
Hashtag Izzi Nils Show.
Yes.
Thank you for listening, everyone. What a transition. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode, which was kind of special, but that's the case whenever we have an interview guest, which doesn't happen often. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, please follow us on iTunes, on Spotify, and go to izzinilsshow.com and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes if you don't mind. We would love you for that. And Joanna would love you too, just out of solidarity. And yeah, if you have anything to add, if you have any questions, if you have any topic requests for our podcast, just use hashtag Izzi Nils Show on Twitter. And that's it for today.
Nice.
Oh, also, last thing. So, Joanna, I found it very cute that you said you don't want to mention or advertise your company. But of course, can you just say a few words about DEPT, where you're working? Because, I mean, they're kind of cool.
Yes.
And I feel they, as we got you for this, they deserve to be mentioned.
Aw, yes, absolutely. So yeah, I basically work with former trust agents. So we're DEPT now. We're part of a worldwide, very, very cool tech and design focused agency. And I think we're really doing a great job. So I'm really glad and proud to be part of this company. So we have, I think, more than 1,300 employees now worldwide. And we just, do a lot of cool work in all areas, digital, and especially in SEO. We're, of course, always happy to help. So if anyone feels like they're not happy with the agency, reach out. We're happy to have a look. And yeah, that was enough advertisement, right?
Yeah. Goodbye. No, we will also put a link in the description of this podcast. And I think, as I said earlier, so I think the philosophy that you were mentioning in between the lines of your sentences, I think that's something that not many agencies do. So if you're looking for one, definitely have a look. Thank you for listening to the Izzi and Nils Show. See you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
That's what she said.
Oh my god, I forgot this. You both won.
No,
Yes,
Joanna
we're all
won.
winners.
Oh, Joanna won, of
Yeah.
Oh,
course.
why? I feel like we're all winners.
That's enough Ubud now. Oh, I'm sweating like a pig. I was just scratching my armpit and now my fingers are wet.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
No.